tension, of course, between serving the whole connection and our regions, and the regions look very differently if I compare my home, Germany, and the US or Africa or the Philippines. And in all of that, we really wanted to respond to the questions that are challenging people, especially in the US conferences, in a pastoral approach first, and in a call to prayer. And this is how I really wish to start also here. But this is all I have to say. I'm open to answer to your questions, of course.
Maybe just let her know who you are and who you represent, because she might not know everybody who they represent, and that would be helpful. So we'll open it up to questions.
Bishop Wenner, you in the statement noted that the Council of Bishops, and by the way, Walter Fenton from Good News magazine. The statement made clear that the Council of Bishops is of two minds on the matter, and so we gathered that there was some people of different positions on what actions to take with regards to Bishop Talbert. Could you clarify? Was it a close vote, or was it generally by consensus and the whole council was supportive of the actions that the statement said that you should undertake?
In fact, we are not only of two minds. We are of many minds, as we are people here, because every single bishop brings a perspective to the table, and also the faith and the hope and the commitment to the mission. And with that spirit, we had a long discernment process throughout that week, and you was waiting a long time until you heard how we are answering to this particular question. And this shows that we went in a mood so that we can be together. I am not supposed to announce the majorities, because this is not how we speak to the church. We speak to the church with this statement now. And this is our statement, although even in the statement we say we are in a process amongst ourselves as we are engaged with the many people in the church.
Thank you.
I will ask, were retired bishops part of this conversation? I mean, I know obviously Bishop Talbert was, but were they also part of the voting on this?
The voting is due to the Book of Discipline and to how the council is structured, is with the active bishops.
Right.
And the discernment intentionally is with all of us. Yeah.
And forgive me, I'm Heather Hahn. Another question, and you were at this point requested to file a complaint. Is that your plan to follow that request?
I do not know now. This is, again, a prayerful consideration where I engage in conversation with Bishop Wallace Patchett. The two of us are named. We will do this discernment in a timely manner, but it's not the time now, and I would not see it appropriate to take to give immediate answers. Because the question is too important for the church to hurry. And this is now a consideration we are entering.
Forgive me, just one more.
No, it's all right. We have more questions and answers.
Another follow-up question, which is simply, obviously the Book of Discipline recommends confidentiality throughout the process. However, there's extreme interest in this, not just frankly within the United Methodist connection, but outside of it. Is there a way that you'll hope to let people notify where we are in the process, even if it's not, I filed a complaint today, but something that indicates where we are, and where might be a good way to get an update? Because I do think there's a need for that.
I do hope that the church can see and the public can see how we discern in a much broader way than in that action. And already our actions were saying that we acknowledge the brokenness and the struggle that is in the church and is in our midst. We see that all people are called by God to serve God. we engage in creating a task force or implementing a task force so that we can lead others and work with others in a discernment process, and all of that will be in public. And I think this is what people hopefully might see as a process that helps us to see how Christians deal with those questions. And I am convinced that this is the sign we can offer to the church.
Tom Landrick from Good News. Bishop, just kind of more of a technical question is if you and Bishop Wallace Paget decide to proceed with filing complaints, my understanding would be is that through the Western College of Bishops?
The discipline says that the Council of Bishops has not the authority to deal with complaints against bishops. It's located in the college where a bishop has served or serves, if it's an active bishop. And Bishop Talbot belongs to the Western jurisdiction. Yeah.
And who is the president of that college?
I think Elaine Stanovsky is at this time.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
Sort of an open-ended general question. I think you've got at it, but there's, as Heather noted, there's a lot of attention around the U.S. and I'm sure around the world to this matter. And the folks, United Methodist, rank and file in the pews, sometimes don't know all the machinations of how the church works. Is there a sort of a general statement you'd like to share with the people of the United Methodist Church about how the council intends to handle this, and just general comments to them specifically?
The role of the council, as it is in our polity since we are the United Methodist Church, and coming out of the traditions of the churches that built the United Methodist Church, is that the council is the collective body or collegial body, this is the right English word, in offering leadership and spiritual and temporal oversight over the church. So this is what we can offer. And we committed ourselves to make this a lively gift to the church. And it is my hope and the hope of many colleagues that through that leadership, where we also model how we can be united in the mission of making disciples, although we are not of one mind in the question of human sexuality, we can help others to find their way, so that we as church might be even a sign of reconciliation. That is my prayer in all of that.
Bishop Benner, John Long Paris with IRD UM Action, and I know a lot of many people around our denomination are wondering, because several have asked this question, what if you file charges, you and Bishop Wallace Paget file charges against Bishop Talbot, and then the Western Jurisdiction College of Bishops tries to just dismiss the charges or say, we don't agree with the disciplines and we're not going to enforce it, or let Talbot off with an essentially meaningless slap on the wrist. So my question is, what commitment is there among the council generally, and with you personally as a bishop, to challenge your Western Jurisdiction colleagues and insist that they uphold the integrity of our connectional covenant?
In fact, I trust my colleagues, and I trust my colleagues throughout the connection. All of us have to live with the tension that we live in a global church, looking seeking unity. Also in the polity, we make decisions on one book of discipline. We are challenged to uphold this book of discipline, and we are charged, and this is why we took these actions. I think the statement says it clearly. And in all of that, any single bishop and also the College of Bishops in the Western jurisdiction will engage in the process. And sometimes the outcome does not show the dynamics and engagement. And this is how we organized ourselves as a church. We did not organize a way that everybody can hear every single word spoken in such a process, and I'm grateful for that, because this is church, and this is who we are, building trust, working out of a spirit of we recognize the difficulties, and we recognize that people are in prayerful consideration, and we trust that this leads us forward. So I do not want to speculate what happens. I do though invest trust that the colleagues take their load on that decision when if we decide to file a complaint, as Bishop Wallace Patrick and I do, are taking our load.
Can I ask a follow-up to that, Bishop?
Yeah.
There's a video that's out there from a recent gathering of Reconciled Ministries Network of, he uses somewhat vague wording, but of Bishop Talbert saying that the entire Western College jurisdiction of bishops is standing solidly behind him in some of the efforts and language he's used to basically call on people to not enforce and not uphold parts of the discipline that they disagree with. Is there any response you would offer at this point to that?
I even don't know the video, so this is not on me to comment on it.
Okay.
I have a follow-up to that, Bishop Wenner. It does appear that whether it's an intentional strategy or just people, clergy from around the connection just deciding that, maybe it's all coincidence, but there are a number of trials that are in progress for folks who are presiding at same-sex wedding services, and there's a number that are planning to do that in the future. Indeed, we heard earlier this week that Bishop Talbert himself may officiate preside at another same-sex service in Tennessee. And Dr. Thomas Frank, historian at Wake Forest, called on the bishops to simply cease trials. What's your position on that? How would you respond, or how would you characterize how the Council of Bishops is responding to that?
In this case, we didn't have a common consideration on that letter. I know it because it was sent to us, and I have received it also. The process outlined in the discipline was made in the intention that this is a fair process in the church. And the bishops have to play a role in it, but it is not our role that we can undermine the possibility of making use of that process. And this is now me, Bishop Wenner, speaking, not announcing a decision of the council. I also say this is not the most helpful way forward, and this is why we hope to engage in a different way of talking, engaging, listening, challenging one another, looking to the biblical foundation, looking to the contextual dimension, so that we hopefully do not only speak on what's going on with that trial and let's move on with this one and so on, but have a prayerful reflection on the questions. However, the process is there. And I would see it as an undermining of the discipline and an authority that is not given to the Council of Bishops to stop, to make it happen, that trials happen. And
Thank you.
I've heard from bishops that I mean, let's not get over, but bishops deal with complaints. Not all the time, but certainly many complaints that for various reasons never become public, and they are on all sorts of issues within the Book of Discipline. So is it, I mean, frankly, the Book of Discipline does give some leeway in how some things are processed, whether it's supervisory or administrative or...
This is part of the process.
Yeah.
All of us have to follow through due to the charge we are given to. The question of what is getting public and what not is not only in our hands.
Right. As I said, yeah.
None of us makes a press release.
I'm just saying, there are a lot of cases that you guys adjudicate without.
Is there a last question?
Is there anything you'd like to add that we haven't talked about?
Asking that, I end with what I started. We go out of this meeting with many griefs, with many wounds, however, with a strong commitment to engage with the church in these issues where we are divided, and even more though, in the purpose where we are united. And this is, we are called to God's mission of making disciples for the transformation of the world.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
Thank you very much.